What's up, all me emotional droids and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about an art scandal that has been making the rounds on Twitter and Instagram, Tumblr, Reddit, all over the magical interwebs. Now, as you could see in the thumbnail and title of this video, I cosplayed as Mary Jane from Spider-Man. Now, why did I cosplay as Mary Jane? Well, one of my favorite artists is kind of being attacked by the weirdos on the internet. Now, that artist is J. Scott Campbell, if you couldn't tell by the title or the thumbnail. And I actually met J. Scott Campbell a long time ago in CTN, and I bought a few of his books from him, and he sketched a little sketch of eyes for me in the book when he signed it for me. And I love his style, and I've been a fan of him for years and years and years now. And so one of the things about his style is that he makes women look fantastic. And he makes men look fantastic too, but he's really known for his very specific style and the way that he draws women. Now, I don't know any woman that's like, wow, I really hope that this character is drawn terribly. I really hope that it's kind of like when you wake up in the morning. It's like you don't try to get up and say, wow, I hope I look like shit today. I'm going to go out of my way to make myself look terrible. No, you try to be the best version of yourself. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you brush your hair, you put on a clean shirt, clean clothing. So when you have someone like him that draws in a specific style that he's, spent years perfecting, when he's drawing a character, he tries to make that character the best version of that character that they could possibly be in his style. But for whatever reason, there's this whole thing online that women aren't allowed to be beautiful anymore. Women aren't allowed to have boobs. Women aren't allowed to have small waists. Women aren't allowed to have asses. They have to basically be this rectangle box, and if you draw a woman curvy or too skinny or too short or too tall or too feminine, too much makeup, if you draw a woman smiling, people on the internet lose their mind. And so J. Scott Campbell has this picture that was a cover for The Amazing Spider-Man that a lot of weirdos online have a problem with. I don't know why, but they lose their minds whenever they see it, and every few months I feel like it makes the rounds on Twitter, people complaining about it. I don't have any problem with this. They say, oh, it's sexualizing women, and I'm over here like, I'm a woman, and I don't have any problem with it. I didn't see that and thought, wow, how offensive. I looked at that and I said, I wonder why Mary Jane looks kind of sad. Well, obviously we know why she's sad. It's because Spider-Man is going out to fight crime, and she can't do anything about it, and she's sitting at home on the couch drinking her coffee, worrying about her love, Peter Parker, because he's putting himself in a dangerous situation. That's what I thought of when I saw this cover. I didn't get offended because he drew her in his style. And yes, she has a small waist. Yes, she is the idealized character because, oh my gosh, it's a comic book. It is a drawing. It's in a superhero comic book. If those people aren't stylized and aren't, the best version of themselves, why would I want to look at it? Why would I want to read this book? Me personally, because I am an artist as well, my goal when I'm creating something like that, and you're trying to tell a story in a single image, that's what I try to do. And so I'm drawn to art that does that I look at this picture, I'm like, wow, there's a story behind this, and I want to know more. That's the thing about a comic book, right? There's hundreds of them, or at least there used to be. When I used to walk into a comic book store when I was a kid, well, guess what? You have all of this competition. A kid is going to pick the one that they're the most intrigued by, that looks the most cool to them, right? So you see that cover, and it's exactly like I just said. It tells a story. That's what I see. I see Mary Jane sitting on the couch with her coffee, and she looks kind of, bewildered in a way, kind of sad. And you look more. You see Peter Parker and her have the picture up on the wall. So they're obviously together at this point in time. And you see him that he just jumped out the window and he's swinging around the city, going and being Spider-Man. He's in his Spidey suit. So it's an entire story within one image. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic storytelling. As a woman, I didn't look at that and said, wow, I'm so offended because Mary Jane is stylized. Oh, how dare they? How dare he? And I always find it ironic that they never complain about the men being stylized, that Peter Parker is stylized. I didn't see anyone complaining that Peter Parker is clenching his butt and you can see he's got a really nice ass in this picture. I haven't seen a single person complain about that, but oh no, Mary Jane has boobs. And it's like, well, guess what? Women have boobs. Holy shit. Women have waists. Women have asses. It's not out of the norm for people to draw correct anatomy or even stylized anatomy, or the fact that, hey, these things, these features do exist on women, and if you immediately go to look at it and you immediately think, oh, that's bad, it's like, well, you guys claim to be fighting misogyny. You guys claim to not be sexist. But anything that resembles femininity is deemed evil to you and you must destroy it. So it's like, well, that to me seems pretty fucking sexist and misogynistic. Now, somebody did a fix of this, a redraw of this. Now, I've drawn redraws in the past and Twitter loses their goddamn mind. But apparently, like when I do it, what I do, and I've explained this before, but people don't watch my live streams that complain about it. I take the guidelines that already exist on a character. Like when I did the Snowflake and Safe Space. Well, one character was non-binary, the other one I was told was supposed to be a gay character. And so I took the parameters that were originally set with the design and I did fix the anatomy, and I took what their goal in mind was for the character, and I tried embodying that to the best of my ability. Well, not the best of my ability because I'm not getting paid for it, so I'm not going to sit there and do a completely finished rendered character. I'm like, this is the rough thing. This is the rough outline of what you claim to want. That original one was not what you claimed to want. It didn't hit the marks. Here you go. Because the people that they hire now are completely incompetent. And so with this whole situation, it was the opposite. It was where you have the incompetent person drawing and trying to fix a design of a competent artist, of a very successful, talented artist, and it was making the rounds. And so J. Scott Campbell decided to weigh in. So let's take a look at what he said. All right, so this is J. Scott Campbell's post over on Twitter, but before we look at that and read what he said, I'm going to show you this. So this is a small clip of the artist's fix right here. This is the original one, obviously, and this is what this person said. I made an attempt at fixing this because it was so bad, LOL. It's not perfect, but it's better than what it was, so that's all that matters, LOL. Just don't look too closely at it, it's fine. And may as well tag at Fixing Bad Comic Art since their blog is mainly what inspired me to do this. Clown little emoji thingy. Yeah. So that's what that person said. Now let's see what J. Scott Campbell had to say. So this is his post. This was over on Instagram as well. So this is what he said. Over the weekend, a famous cover of mine featuring MJ from Spider-Man got a lot of attention again when it began circulating on Tumblr, Twitter, and eventually on Facebook. You see someone going by the name non-binary Finn Mertens took to fixing the art, as they put it, and well, that got a lot of people talking. Now, typically, I just ignore this sort of thing, but it seemed to go a bit viral with even friends and colleagues reposting it, explaining that this sort of correcting of other well-established artists is just, well, tacky, which it is. In light of this, though, I decided to embrace the situation and do a little bit of art fixing myself. What do you think seems trendy? I'm up for the new things. So let's just have some fun and fix stuff. Swipe on. First, we have non-binary Finn's initial fixing of my artwork. Be respectful now, as NBF clearly states it's not perfect and don't look too closely at it. It's fine. Seems NBF might feel a bit sensitive about their art. Second, I take the opportunity to return the favor and generously offer my critiques of NFB's fixing. NFB didn't ask for my criticism, but that's okay. I'm just giving that away. Winky face. Third, I took time out of my busy schedule to redraw and fix all of MBF's mistakes, and there were many. I then share how their artistic vision would be improved with my fixing. Feel free to look as closely as you want to. Hey, maybe a non-binary Finn is into something. Maybe unsolicited correctly, no one asked for is fun. Hope this was educational, kids. Now let's continue on. So he points out everything that are the mistakes about, the anatomy is clearly wrong on her arm, and, they made her look like Popeye. Then also they changed the pose that she was sitting in because the person claimed that that wasn't a realistic pose, that women don't sit like that, nor can women sit like that. Hence why I did the pose that's in the thumbnail of this video, because yes, guess what? Women can and do sit like that. Take in mind, though, I have some birth defects, and I am missing a vertebrae in my spine. So I have one less than a normal person. So I do not have the correct torso length to be able to get like that so you could see my feet the way it was in the original post. But I'm sure plenty of other women that do not have birth defects can sit like that just fine. So that's why I did that, and that is why I photoshopped my hair and the cover to match, because guess what? It's okay. It's completely okay for a comic book artist to stylize and make something look interesting, and that's kind of what he points out here. And then he goes on to explain the things that he changed and how he did kind of fix this non-binary Finn's pose as well, and he fixed the anatomy, and he made it so that way she's sitting on both of her legs and one is on top of the other, not side by side like he describes the sitting dog, and given her a little bit more personality, and just pointing out these things. Now the link for this tweet is in the description of this video if you guys want to check it out and look at it closer and come to your own conclusions on this. I think the main problem with this, though, is that they freak out about his stylization of women. And there was one person that was screaming at the top of their lungs that, his art was sexist, like I described earlier, and that it's not okay for women to be drawn like this. And that's why, this person's design, they took away the outline of her boob. But I mean, women have boobs. I mean, look, you can clearly see the outline of my boob on my shirt right now. I don't know if these people don't see women, or if they've never looked at a woman before. They've never seen boobs before, which blows my mind, because I mean, the internet exists. You can literally just Google it and you will find boob references to look at. So it's like blurring it out. It's like, again, are you afraid of boobs? Are you afraid of female anatomy? And at the same time, what's wrong with female anatomy? You claim that you're not sexist, that you're not misogynistic, but again, anything that resembles femininity is evil to you. And these people have been attacking J. Scott Campbell for this for years. Now again, I've done art fixes before. I don't really call them that. What I do them for is for a basic educational purposes, because I hire artists. When I am doing, work for certain companies and certain jobs, guess what? Because I'm a freelance artist, sometimes I get the privilege of working with a team, and I get to hire the people that I want to be on my team. And when I'm explaining to people that ask me on my YouTube channel about art, and they want critiques or they want kind of tips on how to do things, and I see something like, hey, this person drew She-Hulk, and here's the official art of She-Hulk, and I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, this person, whoever wrote it or drew it, whoever is the art director, not specifically the artist, because it's not always the artist's it's not always the artist's fault, right? Sometimes you will have a editor or an art director that says, I want it done this way, so the artist isn't allowed to do their complete artistic vision. They have to cater it to whoever their boss is. So it's not the artist's fault, and I make that very, very clear, unless there are very big anatomical problems with it, which I had to deal with when it was the whole, the new warrior stuff. There was a lot of bad anatomy in there, and I've done live streams where I show that, and I showed what actual human anatomy is, and I did it as an instructional way for people to learn, because that's kind of part of doing critiques and helping people learn as artists. And so with the She-Hulk thing, it's like, well, whoever wrote this, because the whole thing that people said was like, oh, it's because She-Hulk has more Bruce Banner's blood in her. That's why she looks more manly. And it's like, well, you really don't know anything about She-Hulk then, because when you get the gamma radiation, it releases your ide. And the ide is a kind of psychological thing about how you envision yourself. Bruce Banner is incredibly intelligent, but he's weak and feeble as a man. That's why when he becomes Hulk, he loses his intelligence and he becomes this big force of brute strength. She-Hulk is shy and demure when she's just, you know, herself. When she becomes She-Hulk, she prefers being She-Hulk because she becomes sexy and powerful and she loves to be She-Hulk. That's why she's extremely feminine when she becomes She-Hulk. People don't understand that, and so that's why it's like, well, here, I do understand that, and I'm willing to help. And it's not for people that aren't soliciting it, it's for my audience. But the problem with Twitter and the internet is that people that aren't your audience, that don't want to understand, they come out of nowhere and they lose their mind. So with this whole situation with J. Scott Campbell, again, it's like, well, are you sexist? Are you misogynistic? Because the fact that you are so afraid and so disgusted by female anatomy, it kind of implies that. And I mean, it blows my mind every single time this happens to him because he's a fantastic artist. You can't, I mean, art is subjective, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you can't look at that and say, wow, this man doesn't have skill, because he does. He wouldn't be as successful as he is if he wasn't talented and if he wasn't skilled and if people didn't like his artwork. I'm a whammon. I like his artwork. I don't want to go and look at a hideous drawing, and sometimes if you do, you got to be in a mood. Like, there's some art that is, in my opinion, ugly, but it's telling a story, and it moves you and motivates you in some way, shape, or form. And when I see his artwork, I like his storytelling. I love the way he draws women. I especially love the way he draws hair. I'm a girl. I like that kind of stuff. I don't find anything wrong with it. And so the fact that these people are attacking him just blows my fucking mind. But I hope this video was a little bit educational, because I saw some people on Twitter going, I've talked to women, I've talked to queer people, I've talked to non-binary people, they're brainwashed by this ideology. And it's like, okay, so you claim to be a male feminist, but you don't take the word of a woman. You instead you try to belittle them because they don't agree with you. It blows my mind, and I hate that this is happening to him, because I think J. Scott Campbell is a fantastic artist, and I just wanted to weigh my 2 cents in with this and then ask you guys what you think about it. And also, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and smash the like button, and, you know, go maybe onto J. Scott Campbell's Twitter or Instagram and go show him some support. Go like his stuff, take a look at his store, and, or, you know, where his covers are, because that's what he's so, this is how crazy it is. He is so expensive that he basically only does covers now because people can't afford him to draw an entire comic book. That's fucking successful, right? So go support him by liking his stuff, by giving him some words of encouragement, and just let him know that not everyone out there is an asshole. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this far through. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you're new here, maybe take a minute, smash the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. And until next time, everyone, I hope you have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. Hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know, if you didn't know already, that I have an Etsy where I sell prints of my artwork. I got horror villains, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars characters. The latest Star Wars character that I just added was the one, the only, Gina Carano as Cara Dune. Now, Gina herself even loved the painting. So if you want to go check that out, the link is in the description of this video. They are selling like crazy, and I am still only in the pre-sale, so go pick that up before they're gone. Also, if you want to see a video of me painting and explaining how to paint like this, go over and check out my art channel. The link is in the description of this video. Go over, smash the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. That way you don't miss it when I post the video. Everyone, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.